sport fishermen might end up meaning that we'll have fewer people coming to Gloucester to go fishing on the sport fishing boats because of the restrictions, which means then that the hotels, the restaurants, and everywhere else that benefits from that traffic of people visiting our beautiful city will end or be greatly diminished. So my feeling is that that's one reason that fishing pier is a good idea, is that it gives the fishermen a different opportunity to fish. As some of you know, I'm a recreational boater and I've traveled to other places, and I kind of like to think that our community is as welcoming to people coming here as places are where I visit, so I don't really like the idea of let's make it just for Gloucester. To me, we welcome everyone. Then the last point I want to make is that transiting the bridge, under the Bloomin' Canal Bridge in my boat, I'd rather have the fishing boats off on the pier rather than potentially landing on the boat as we go through the bridge. So I am in favor of this.
Thank you. Valerie Nelson, 7 Sunset Point Road. I live out in Lanesville, and actually, I think there are a lot of places in Gloucester where you can go fishing. Certainly they go off the Breakwater and Sunset Point, and for those of us who live here, there are other opportunities. You know, we're learning a lot about the harbor in terms of the storm surges and also eelgrass. To me, you know, I'm not sure how safe this area is, and I think if they locate it where there isn't eelgrass, the whole goal of this money that the state has put into the nursery eelgrass habitat in the harbor, maybe this is not the place to locate this kind of structure that would prevent recovery over time. But my primary concern is, so I live in Lanesville, but I have to say that quite often I drive along 133 just so I can come up on that fabulous, incredible harbor view. And, you know, the Fitzhugh Lane paintings, the way the Gloucester Fishermen's Wives statue looks out on that harbor and the children as they gaze out across that harbor, I think that view is one of the most special that we have in this community. And I certainly go out of my way to look at it as much as I can when I'm coming back home into Gloucester. And to me, having something that looks like the photos in what you saw is a real marring of that historic, gorgeous, expansive view. The schooner festivals are there. I think it's a treasure for this community. It's a beautiful spot, and this is not the place for a recreational pier like what they're showing us. I do agree it would be great to get some state funding, but this new fund is available also for community boating. And I know there have been proposals for community boating and public access in this harbor, and I think that is probably a much better use of the kind of resources the state is offering to us than this particular proposal. So thank you very much.
Next person in favor, please.
My name is Steve Pappas. I was born in Gloucester. I just recently bought a house in Rockport, so I currently reside in Rockport. Would that allow me to still speak? I fish the surf. I'm a recreational fisherman. I fished the surf here for over 40 years. I'm in favor of the pier for a number of reasons. One which was already stated. There's already a lot of kids and young adults fishing along the railing just adjacent to the walkway. And they're going back with rods, obviously with plugs, sinkers, weights, and hooks. And a lot of people aren't very careful. There's people walking directly behind them. And I think it would be nice to have a dedicated area. I think it would be safer. I like the idea that someone in a wheelchair would be able to get out there on that pier. I think if it was done right, and I don't see an objection to it, And I also think it would be able to be more easily policed in the matter of checking people that you now need a saltwater license. I pay a fee to fish the surf now. I didn't before, but now I do. So I see this as money well spent for some of the fees that I have to pay in order to fish. And I'm sure, I mean, the fact that they would be the ones that would be, doing the whole thing, and the city would have minor costs. I just think it's, looking to gift us in the mouth not to take advantage of it. I'm sure if it was done right, and like I said, the people that oversee the licensing could go right out to that dedicated section and make sure that all the people there were properly licensed. And I really think it's a danger for the people to be fishing along the rail there with that walkway immediately behind them. Thanks.
Anyone else, for or against? Questions by the council? Councilor Romero.
I know it's not going to cost the city. Who's going to maintain it? Who's going to watch it? Who's the liability going to come to? Whoever wants to answer it.
The way our program works is the land management agreement is entered into by the city with the Commonwealth that the city would be responsible for the day-to-day management and minor maintenance. When it comes time for major capital improvements, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts would be responsible for 100% of those costs.
Liability?
Liability is the same that exists in the city currently at city facilities. You're liable, I know but the city would be liable as well as the Commonwealth. And
Have we looked at Crespi's Beach?
no, we have not. For fishing pier?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
We went around to a number of sites. Every single possibility we have not explored at this point in time.
So everything has not been explored.
That's correct.
We did look out, the wave action out there was said to be too strong. Just as at the end of the fort is too strong, it's actually less at the canal where this is proposed because it's blocked somewhat coming in. We did look at that area. We went all the way around through East Gloucester, the State Fish Pier, the Inner Harbor. I wasn't...
Half Moon Beach? That's like in a little cove?
Again, you have to get out into that big wave action.
Why?
I mean, we can't even put moorings out there.
Through the chair, you think the canal where you want to put it doesn't have current? If the kid falls off, the current that's right there in that canal doesn't have wave action?
Off to the side. The wave action is not if someone falls off it. The wave action is knocking it apart in a storm or something. So it has to be built in a place where it won't be destroyed by storm action. And I was told that those sites out there are inappropriate. If you take it any more towards Stage 4 Park, there is eelgrass. If you take it out to the fort, there's eelgrass. If you take it to the point of the fort, then it's too rough.
I really would like to have those two places that I just mentioned really looked at because I have nothing against Piers. I think they're great. They bring it great. I loved it. I kept saying, I wish we had one, I wish we had one, I wish we had one. When I went on the Naples Pier, that was right off the beach. It wasn't in anyone's, it was more protected. It was way out there. It was fantastic. But, I really would like some more information. And another thing, we partnered with the state, as you know, in the waterways. We gave up a beautiful pier, which is called a fish pier. Nothing against the state, but when you take state money and they say, yes, we're going to partner with you, and then you have to take it over. But then when we want to do something, we always have to ask permission. And next thing you know is we don't own that property anymore.
So, in the form of a question?
Yes, well, we're going to lose more property. Yeah.
Councilor Cox?
Mr. Pino, if you wouldn't mind. What effect would this fishing pier have on the local water events, the Parade of Lights, the Schooner Fest? jutting out into the path where I've seen boats go.
No, it absolutely will not go in the path of any boats because it's all rock there. That's why it's going over there. If you look out, you see a spindle that's out there, that's marking that whole rocks. This is going to be off towards the Stage Court Park side of that, so it absolutely will not impede boat traffic. It might in fact help boat traffic by pointing out to people unfamiliar that they can't take a right after they enter the harbor because they'll hit rocks.
If I may.
Continue.
I've seen the current at the Cut Bridge, and it's really strong right there. Is there, I mean, just the tidal flow through there, and the boat traffic. I can't imagine that if I'm fishing and I'm throwing my hook out there, it's getting caught in that current. I can't imagine that I'm going to be catching a lot of fish. I mean, I'm not a sport fisherman, but I do fish.
It's actually a great place to fish. You know, we would troll through there if they would let us. The pier though is out a little farther than what you're thinking, and it's over more, so they're going to have an opportunity out by the spindle to throw out towards Stage Court Park and expected to catch flounders, and more to the left expected to catch bluefish, stripers, mackerel on that side. What they're trying to do is keep it from what they're doing now, which is throwing directly down into that channel when the boats are going through, which is what Kate Banks referred to. But the fish like the current, actually.
I've seen some random pictures, but I haven't seen any specifics on height and length and material, and there's just, I have a million more questions. And